All right, let's dive into something huge today. We're going to talk about the massive difference between just being informed and actually being knowledgeable. In a world that is absolutely swimming in data, what does it really mean to know something? Let's get into it.
I mean, really think about that for a second. We are constantly surrounded by this ocean of data, news feeds, and notifications. But with all of this stuff right at our fingertips, are we actually getting any wiser? That's the big question we're going to try and unpack.
So, to even begin to answer that, we have to look at the field that's trying to make sense of it all: information science. You can think of it as the art and science of building the maps and the tools we need to navigate that crazy ocean of information.
So what is it, really? Well, at its heart, information science looks at the entire life journey of information. It asks the big questions. How do we even find the right data in a sea of complete noise? How do we organize it so it actually makes sense? And, probably most importantly, how do I turn all that raw data into something genuinely useful?
You know, a really great way to think about this is the kitchen analogy. It's perfect. So a chef, right? First, they have to find and gather all their raw ingredients. That's step one, gathering information. Then they organize their pantry so they can find everything easily. That's structuring the information. And finally, they combine all those ingredients to cook and serve an amazing meal. That's the final crucial step, delivering useful knowledge to society.
But here's the thing. Information science isn't some lonely island. It doesn't exist in a vacuum. It's actually more like a central hub, a grand central station that pulls in ideas and tools from a ton of different fields to even work.
And you can see just how connected it is here. It borrows the genius of organization from library science, the raw processing power from computer science and AI, and it even pulls in insights from cognitive science to understand how our own brains process it all. This incredible blend is exactly what makes it so powerful. It's a field that seriously touches almost every single part of our modern lives.
So, when you take all these connections, this whole field of study, what do you get? Well, you get the world we are living in right this second, the information society. And hey, if you're watching this, you are a card-carrying citizen.
So, what are the rules in this new society? Well, first, it runs on what we call information and communication technology, or ICT. Think the internet, smartphones, all of it. Second, it's totally driven by this core belief that information itself is power. The big goal is to give everyone access, creating this whole new class of knowledge workers.
But, and this is a big but, the information society isn't the end of the road. It's not the final destination. There's a next level, an evolution that a lot of people think we should be shooting for, the knowledge society.
And the core difference really boils down to this simple but incredibly powerful equation. See, it's not just enough to have the information. A knowledge society is all about what you do with it. It's about combining that raw data with actual human experience to create genuine, real knowledge.
This means a total flip in what we value as a society. The focus shifts from just accessing information to actively creating and applying it. Education, research, and lifelong learning become the absolute top priorities. In this kind of world, the main engine for growth isn't just technology, it's human ingenuity, innovation, and development.
Okay, so let's really break this down. Let's put these two societies right next to each other, side by side. This is where you can see the critical differences, and it's pretty eye-opening. Just look at this. In every single category, there's a huge shift. The whole basis moves from technology to education and research. The main focus goes from just information access to actual knowledge creation. And the very identity of the society shifts from being about its tech infrastructure to being about the development of its people. It's the difference between a tech revolution and a true knowledge economy.
So let's boil it all down to its absolute core. The era we are in right now, the information society, it is fundamentally built on a foundation of technology, period. But the future we could be building, the knowledge society, that's built on something way more powerful and dynamic. It's built on people, on our collective ability to learn, to create, to innovate, and to grow.
And that brings us right back to our very first question, but now with a whole new layer of perspective. With every single click, every search, every scroll, are we consciously trying to use this ocean of information to build real knowledge? Or are we just getting more and more tangled in the net? That's definitely something to think about.